everybody here at the Trump White House knows the Democrats are really upset about Elon Musk's effort to trim down federal spending, but it has not affected his standing here one bit.
You know, the president is 100% serious about deficit reduction. It's one reason why Elon is on the team. And we've been overwhelmed with the positive response of Elon's efforts. Elon is the hardest working guy I've ever seen.
Harrison Fields, the principal deputy press secretary at the White House, tells Fox the Democrats have no plan on how to recover from their embarrassing loss, and it shows. Instead of working to become a party that focuses on the will of the people, they are hell-bent on keeping their heads in the sand and gaslighting on the widely supported mission of DOGE, slashing waste, fraud, and abuse, and becoming better stewards of the American taxpayers' hard-earned dollars might be a crime to Democrats, but it's not a crime in a court of law. The plan is to cut the 10,000-person USAID workforce down to 294 people. The president is also looking outside of government at all NGOs that get federal money. It is all being reviewed under a new executive order. There's not much Democrats can do, but there sure is more that they want to do.
Congress has to stand up and fight, but we're going to need people across this country to stand up and fight, to not agonize, but organize against these people.
We expect to hear from President Trump about 2.5 hours from right now. He is hosting the Japanese Prime Minister today, and they are going to have a press conference.
My God, I actually pity those poor bastards we're going up against. My God, I do. We're not going to just meme those globalists. We're going to meme them till they cry and use their tears to grease the treads of our takes.
I wish I could do something, but I can't. I don't know what to do.
Such a good meme. I have an important announcement for you, ladies and gentlemen. One, here's a live shot of the White House. All right, I want you to see. We are ready for President Trump. The delegation just got seated. We're doing our best here, okay, to ensure that we don't hang around. As much as I love producer Danny and ALX, who stepped in for me this week when I had a major family obligation. We try not to drag the lives on for like hours on end, waiting for President Trump. But nonetheless, you can't time these things. Donald Trump is meeting currently with the Prime Minister of Japan, and Donald Trump will be taking the stage imminently. You can see Doug Burgum right there, of note. And you can also see Caitlin Collins right there from CNN, ready to ask a question. This is a massive trade delegation, and Donald Trump's going to be announcing some big news with Japan and then taking open questions. He made a ton of news earlier this week. Donald Trump said that America's going to take over the Gaza Strip. Turn it into a strip club, we'll call it. Just kidding. But who knows? Trump says he's going to develop it. We've been to a lot of Trump properties, so we're down. Why not, right? As long as there's no American boots on the ground, as long as we're not getting involved in another war. But anyway, the point is that Donald Trump makes a lot of news at these things. What you are watching right now is a live shot of the White House Gold Room. Donald Trump meeting with the Prime Minister of Japan, and will be taking the stage shortly. They have some huge trade announcements that are going to be made. Also some massive economic announcements that'll be made as a preview of President Trump's remarks. And then I'm going to open to the press. The room is packed like sardines. There's press 5 layers deep. So get ready for it to be completely rowdy. This is going to be Donald Trump's only time on camera today. And as it is our obligation to you to bring you to the front seat of the golden era. And of course, as you are you and I together are delighted in all of the wonderful and exciting things that are happening in this country, like the banning of paper straws. What a timeline we live in now. This Donald Trump says he's going to be signing an executive order banning paper straws. Bring back plastic. Thank you very much. Do you know how the paper straws would come in a little plastic foil? Like, do you know how stupid? We lived through the dumbest timeline. From the start of 2019, moving through, it was a single dumbest timeline ever. Remember the Squad? How everyone was so scared of the Squad? Yeah. Donald Trump, BTFO, at the White House. Hey, Alex, I want to play the clip since we are still in a holding pattern, although they've seated the delegation, which is always an indication that the president and the prime minister will be out imminently. You can see there the front rows have been seated. Those are the hot to trot members of the Trump administration. Yeah, that's exactly Killer Klein. That's perfect. Hey, Alex, can you grab me Trump's response about Time Magazine and Elon Musk being on the cover? I saw that going all over my feed. This is the moment that we're living in, ladies and gentlemen, the single dumbest timeline. We do have President Trump's remarks from inside the Oval Office, and depending on how much time we have, perhaps we will play them. I did want to play you a snippet because Time Magazine has put Elon Musk on the cover of the magazine. So we'll show you the cover of the magazine, and we'll show you Trump's response, and it was freaking great. Expect questions from CNN at the White House. It's Elon Musk posting this photo of CNN last night. Doge teen known as Big Balls now is a government expert. CNN, you played yourself. You played yourself. I don't know Big Balls, okay, personally, but I do know Zoomer culture, and what they're doing is they're trolling you. This is a big joke. You reporting this out and having your screechy, embittered, postmenopausal, grumpy, just grumpy, unhappy, ancresses on, your nasty little liberal scolds on. It's just perfect. It's art, okay? It's art. This is one side of the conversation. And the other side are wearing gigantic, oversized, fluffy MAGA hats inside of the White House. Okay, can we get those as well? It's again, my entire timeline is just effectively giant, oversized, fluffy MAGA hats. Here we go. Look at that. Is that the golden pager? No. Is that the golden pager? Goodness gracious. BB Netanyahu gave Donald Trump a golden pager. Oh boy. Don't open it, Trump! Don't open it! Don't touch it! No! Look at this. Found Tucker Carlson in the Oval Office, says Margot Martin. She's one of the comms experts on the president's team. And Tucker Carlson is here laughing inside of the Oval. You have to assume that Tucker did an interview in the Oval. We don't have any confirmation of that, but you'd have to assume that's what Tucker was doing here. Having what looks like an absolutely great time. Very jealous. I've not been this jealous, ladies and gentlemen, since Daniel Penny got to sit in the box with Donald Trump at the Army-Navy game with Trump and Kash Patel. Bro got completely exonerated in New York, saved people's lives, became a hero, and then sat next to Kash and Trump at the Army-Navy game in D.C. That's absolute legend arc status here. Here it is, and this is the difference. Look, here's what the left is offering you. This is what the left is offering you, and here's what the right's offering you. Look at each party. I don't know, I'm just kind of waxing here, but I'd say this all the time. And it's why we structure our show the way that we do. That's why we use memes, humor. We do our very best. I mean, some topics are very serious and require and make my blood boil. Actually, I'm a dude. I'm a taxpayer. I'm like a father, and I feel the same way you do about the country with this jackassery. But look at this. As a party, okay? It's called a political party. What kind of party would you like to be at? Would you like to be at a party with these three? Or would you like to go to a party with these three? What party would be more fun? What party would you have a more enjoyable time at? Yeah, exactly. What party are you going to be lectured about your pronouns at? Right? What party are you going to get like a very stern, hissing conversation about misgendering from this individual? And then wouldn't this be a more fun party? So like as you're lining up your political parties and just like looking at the landscape here, there's an important thing to ask yourself. Like, we need to laugh again. Like, we should be laughing. Like, this vibe from Tucker is great. It's really fun. Obviously, they all look like they're having a great time. Elon Musk in the Doge Father shirt. I think we have that. I think we actually have that. Let me show you the shirt. We have a closer zoom in of the actual Doge Father shirt that Elon Musk is wearing, and that makes them so angry. There it is. Perfect. Pop that up. There we go. The Doge Father. I want one. Man. ALX, let's get him. Let's get him up on the store now. I want one. They're so angry. They're so bitter. They're so nasty. Nasty woman. Donald Trump was asked in the very small, they call it a pool spray. Okay, so we're going to learn these terms. A pool spray is when the press pool is able to rush into the Oval Office and take photos of Donald Trump by the fire with the world leader. Donald Trump was there and was asked about this. This is the Time magazine cover with Elon Musk on it. This is a new Time magazine cover. It has Elon Musk at the Resolute desk there in the Oval Office, the famous president's desk. They're obviously trolling Trump. Elon's holding a cup of coffee and is, president of the United States. Now, Elon Musk can't be president of the United States. I think Elon Musk would make a fine president of the United States. He can't be president of the United States. He wasn't born in America. And so that is constitutionally impossible. If my scholarship serves me well. Yet, they're doing this to troll Trump. This is like a constant, get under Trump's skin, right? Like, everyone's usurping you, sir. Here was Trump's response when asked about this magazine cover.
Mr. President, do you have a reaction to the new Time magazine cover that has Elon Musk sitting behind your Resolute desk?
タイムマガジンにイーロン・マスクが大統領の机の後ろで座っている写真がありますけども、それに関するコメントは何かありますか?
Is Time magazine still in business? I didn't even know that.
タイムマガジンは
We talked about a lot how there's a very different vibe of this White House. And these little things these little tricks don't work anymore. This is why the Dems are so powerless. In the first Trump White House, when we all saw this, the media was very much able to get under Donald Trump's skin, was able to do things and run ops against Trump, and were able to circumvent, sabotage, cause bad blood. They still had power. Now, President Trump damn well knows that he was elected because of Joe Rogan's podcast, right? And other podcasts that he did, independent creators. That did work with him and with the campaign and with the storytelling of America. And it was actually one candidate that went running to the dinosaur dying, deceased corporate media, and one candidate that decided to trust independent and authentic voices. And ladies and gentlemen, who won? I can show you in our studio the result of the election. It's so convenient, Klein, having this. It's so convenient. I can show you who won. One candidate decided to live entirely off the fumes of the dinosaur media, the legacy corporate media, and one candidate decided to go totally independent and authentic. And so Donald Trump isn't trolled by these things anymore. It doesn't hurt his feelings anymore. He's not here like going to be cudgeled and going to be have the corporate press weaponized against him. Now, like, deeply and totally understands how the game is played. Not that he did in the first term, but I think there's so many lessons learned. Here's a lesson. This is a fun one. This is you can see here in the purple suit, Caitlin Collins, CNN, right? So you can see everybody's there standing up. You would assume that all of the standing indicates imminent arrival of the president and the prime minister, and is a sign of respect. And Caitlin Collins standing up doing a live hit on CNN right there. Why don't we punch on it? You guys can see how this operates, right? So she's going to be there like screaming questions. This is the new Jim Acosta, okay? So they gender swapped Jim Acosta for a live action role player, Scott Pressler. And now you get Caitlin Collins screaming at President Trump, and that's what we're going to see.
And the Prime Minister of Japan.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Donald Trump and the Prime Minister of Japan walking in now.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's a great
Here we go,
honor
ladies and
be
gentlemen,
with
to the
Prime
White House
Minister.
feed.
We had a picture taken a little while ago, and it was so nice. I thought I'd present it to you on stage.
Okay.
And I wish I was as handsome as him, but I'm not. Remember that day. Thank you very much, everybody. I'm delighted to welcome Japanese Prime Minister Ishiba Shigeru to the White House for the first time. I'm delighted to welcome Japanese Prime Minister Ishiba Shigeru to the White House for the first time. And Prime Minister, it's an honor to have you with us, a great honor. Japan is a great country. Thank you very much. Japan is strong and proud. It's a nation that is home to one of the great civilizations in the history of the world. For nearly 80 years, the American-Japanese people have enjoyed a friendship like few others. We've had a great friendship across the vast ocean and found ourselves united by bonds of history, commerce, culture, mutual admiration, and great respect. After our meeting today, I'm confident that the cherished alliances between our two countries and others also will continue to flourish long and into the future. The military cooperation between the United States and Japan is one of our closest security partnerships, and it's one of the closest we have anywhere in the world. Our service members work together every day to defend our common interests. Japan is committed to double its defense spending by 2027 compared to my first term. They've invested a lot of money because of my first term. We worked on that very hard with Shinzo, the great Shinzo Abe. And we look forward to seeing even more so. Shinzo and I worked very, very long and hard, and those numbers are very reflective after my first term. And now they're going up very substantially based on our conversations today. In addition to being vital for our shared security, Japan is one of the top purchasers of U.S. military exports and equipment. And I'm pleased to say that this week, my administration approved nearly $1 billion in foreign military sales to Tokyo. The United States is totally committed to the security of Japan. We will extend the full strength of American deterrence capabilities in defense of our friend and ally, 100%. In the years to come, the Prime Minister and I will be working closely together to maintain peace and security. And I also say peace through strength and all over the Indo-Pacific. And to that end, we also remain committed to the effort I began in my first term to ensure safety and stability on the Korean Peninsula. Prime Minister Ishiba and I spoke long and hard about a vital economic relationship between our two countries and the continuance of that relationship. The United States and Japan trade over $300 billion in goods and services each year. Japan has invested nearly $800 billion, and that's going to go up very, very substantially in the coming months, more than any other country. And they're going to have some competition. We have a lot of people coming in and investing in the United States. I think the feeling throughout the world has never been stronger about this country. As a result of our victory in 2024, the presidential election, the Japanese investment and technology giant SoftBank announced plans to invest between $100 and $200 billion. And we have many other companies investing that number, higher than that number, some a little bit less, but we have trillions of dollars of investment pouring into our country now that you didn't have just a short while ago. Today, our teams discussed how our two nations can do even more to stay on the cutting edge of artificial intelligence, along with the quantum computing, semiconductors, and other critical technologies. And they're coming out. The problem with technology, that kind, it's obsolete in about 2 days, so we have to start all over again. Doesn't last long. We agreed to cooperate even more closely to combat the Chinese economic aggression, which is quite aggressive. I'm also pleased to announce that Japan will soon begin importing historic new shipments of clean American liquefied natural gas in record numbers. It'll be record numbers. With our Secretary of the Interior, we were talking, I think Doug is here. Hello, Doug. Please stand up, Doug. Doug Burgum, everybody. We're talking about the pipeline in Alaska, which is the closest point of major oil and gas to Japan by far, less than half the distance of any other location. We're talking about a joint venture of some type between Japan and us, having to do with Alaska oil and gas, and that's very exciting. They're very excited about it, so are we. As we deepen our economic relationship, I made clear that the United States will be conducting trade with all countries based on the principle of fairness and reciprocity. Chronic trade deficits not only undermine our economy, they really do, and we're going to get rid of the trade. We have a trade deficit with Japan of over $100 billion, but we're going to work that out, and I think very quickly, frankly. We can do it just on oil and gas. We can work it out, so we intend to do it very quickly. We both understand that. And as America welcomes new foreign investment, we also want to ensure that companies build their products and factories here in America, not simply buy the assets that we have. And Japan is going to be opening up auto plants. New auto plants are being built currently as we speak. They've just been started. Toyota is one, and Nissan's going to be doing something very exciting about U.S. Steel. They'll be looking at an investment rather than a purchase. We didn't like the idea. U.S. Steel is a very important company to us. It was the greatest company in the world for 15 years, many years ago, 80 years ago. And we didn't want to see that leave. And it wouldn't actually leave, but the concept psychologically not good. So they've agreed to invest heavily in U.S. Steel as opposed to own it. And that sounds very exciting. And we're going to meet with Nissan next week, the head of Nissan, very great company. And they'll work out the details. I'll help. I'll be there to mediate and arbitrate. And I had the privilege of working closely with the great Prime Minister, as you know, and you know him very well, Shinzo Abe, the longest serving Prime Minister in Japan's history. Likewise, I expect that this Prime Minister is going to be a great one. I really believe that he's going to be a great one. I've gotten to know him for not long, but I can see what they have. He's got the qualities of greatness. He's going to do a fantastic job for Japan and for the Japanese people. And I'd like now to invite the Prime Minister to say a few words, and then we'll take some questions. Mr. Prime Minister, thank you. Thank you very much.
Mr. President Trump, I would like to sincerely thank you for inviting me to the White House today, immediately following your inauguration. I also thank you for your very warm hospitality. I have come to Washington, D.C. with the hope of having a face-to-face meeting and deepening our mutual understanding at this early date with President Trump, who is now leading the United States, the most important country for Japan's diplomacy and security, and aligning our perspectives and visions that Japan and the United States should pursue. What should we do to advance the national interests of both of our countries in synergy and to realize peace and prosperity in the Indo-Pacific? I am convinced that the answer lies in further strengthening the strong and unwavering Japan-US alliance to achieve a free and open Indo-Pacific. President and I concurred to strengthen the deterrence and response capabilities of the alliance and to work closely in addressing strategic challenges that both countries are facing in this region. I conveyed to the President that Japan, as an ally of the United States, is ready to share responsibilities and to play its own role. I also reiterated Japan's unwavering commitment to fundamentally reinforcing its defense capabilities, and we confirmed the unwavering commitment by the United States to the defense of Japan. We reaffirmed that Article 5 of the Japan-US Treaty of Mutual Cooperation and Security applies to the Senkaku Islands, with half of the world's population and approximately 60% of the world's GDP. The Indo-Pacific serves as the engine of growth and vitality for Japan, the United States, and the world. President and I also concurred that the United States and Japan will make further efforts in a wide range of areas, working hand in hand together to realize a free and open Indo-Pacific. In this context, we also concurred to further advance cooperation of the multi-layered networks of the like-minded countries, including the Quad, and trilateral cooperation with the Republic of Korea and the Philippines. We also discussed Japan-United States cooperation to bring about growth and prosperity. Economic cooperation, including on economic security, is important from the perspective of strengthening alliance cooperation. Japan is the closest economic partner of the United States and has been the world's largest investor in the United States for 5 consecutive years. Also, with the inauguration of President Trump, the momentum for Japanese companies to invest in the United States is growing even stronger. Today, I conveyed my willingness to cooperate together to elevate Japan's investment in the United States to an unprecedented amount of $1 trillion. President Trump and myself also concurred to elevate the Japan-US partnership to an even higher level through improving business environment and increasing bilateral investment and employment, strengthening each other's industries, leading the world in developing advanced technologies such as AI and leading-edge semiconductors, and strongly promoting efforts to harness the energy of the growing market in the Indo-Pacific region. We also confirmed that we will cooperate to strengthen energy security between the two countries, including increasing exports of United States liquefied natural gas to Japan in a mutually beneficial manner. Regarding foreign exchange, as in the first Trump administration, close discussions will continue between Japanese and the US finance ministers who are experts in this field.
We also held candid discussions on challenges the Indo-Pacific region is facing. We confirmed that we are resolved not to allow unilateral attempts to change the status quo by force or coercion, and to oppose such attempts in the East and South China Seas in order to fully defend a free and open Indo-Pacific. We also reiterated the importance of peace and stability across the Taiwan Strait. Regarding North Korea, we affirmed the need to address its nuclear and missile program, which poses a serious threat to Japan, the US, and beyond, and that Japan and the US will work together toward the complete denuclearization of North Korea. As the abductees and their families continue to age, I conveyed my strong sense of urgency and determination directly to President Trump, and gained his renewed strong support for the immediate resolution of the abductions issue. While this was my first face-to-face meeting with President Trump, we were able to openly and frankly exchange views, and our meeting turned out to be very productive and meaningful. As a result of today's meeting, which marked a new departure for the Japan-US relations, we are issuing a Japan-US Joint Leader Statement. This document will serve as a compass for further cooperation between our two countries. On the basis of these deliverables, I look forward to working together with President Trump, who I respect immensely, to usher in a new golden age of Japan-US relations. I look forward to welcoming you to Japan. And I'm very excited about that prospect. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Any questions, please? Peter?
Here we go.
I have two on Doge. Elon Musk said today, I love Donald Trump as much as a straight man can love another man. What does the first lady think about that?
Oh, I think she'll be okay with it somehow.
So Democratic lawmakers are really upset that Doge engineers have access to these Treasury payment systems. Senate Intel Cabinet letters to be filed. They're saying that these systems are used to disperse trillions of dollars each year and contain everyday Americans' personal information like social security numbers, home addresses, bank accounts. Why does Doge need all of that?
Well, it doesn't, but they get it very easily. I mean, we don't have very good security in our country, and they get it very easily. And what we're doing, if you look at what has just taken place with respect to some of the investments that have been made on another agency that people have been talking about for years, but nobody did anything about it, it's absolutely obscene, dangerous, bad, very costly. I mean, virtually every investment made is a con job. There's nothing of value to anybody unless there's a kickback scheme going on, which is possible. And we're going to be doing more and more of that. We're going to be looking at Department of Education. We're going to be looking at even our military. We're going to be looking at tremendous amounts of money, Peter, being spent on things that bear no relationship to anything and have no value. We're talking about trillions of dollars. It will be, in the end, trillions of dollars being absolutely wasted, and perhaps illegally. I would say certainly in many cases illegally, but perhaps illegally overall. And I'm very proud of the job that this group of young people, generally young people, but very smart people, they're doing. They're doing it at my insistence. It would be a lot easier not to do it, but we have to take some of these things apart to find the corruption. And we found tremendous corruption.
You mentioned the Department of Education. What do you think when you saw Democratic lawmakers trying to get into the Department of Education earlier today?
Oh, I see the same ones. I see Maxine Waters, a lowlife. I see, you know, all these people. They don't love our country. They don't love our country. We want great education. So they rank 40 countries in education. We're ranked dead last. But the good news is we're number one in one category. You know what that is? Cost per pupil. We spend more per pupil than any other country in the world. You look at Norway, Denmark, Sweden, various countries all up and down, Finland, China does very well in education. And then you look at us, we spend much more money than they do per pupil or any other way, but we spend much more money than they do. And yet we're ranked this year, Biden's last year, congratulations, Joe, we're ranked dead last. So what I want to see is education. Number one, I like choice. We all like choice. But beyond choice, long beyond choice, I want to see it go back to the states where great states that do so well have no debt. They're operated brilliantly. They'll be as good as Norway or Denmark or Sweden or any of the other highly ranked countries. They'll be, you probably have 30, I figure 35 to 38 states will be right at the top. And the rest will come along. They'll have to come along competitively. And by the way, we'll be spending a lot less money and we'll have great education.
As part of this DOGE cost-cutting effort, one of the DOGE engineers was fired for some inappropriate posts. The vice president says, bring him back. What do you say?
Well, I don't know about the particular thing, but if the vice president said that, did you say that? I'm with the vice president. Thank you, Peter. Yeah, go ahead, please. Yes, red dress.
President, just how strong do you want Japan's military to be? And do you specifically hope that their increased military spending will deter China and North Korea? What did you talk about that today?
Well, I want our military to be the strongest. I also don't mind spending so much money on the military because we build it here. It's made in the USA, all made in the USA. We have, I rebuilt our military during my first term. Did a great job. We left some of it behind in Afghanistan, stupidly. There was no reason for that, but it was still as much as it was. It was billions and billions of dollars, but it was a small part of it. But we're going to have the strongest military by far. We have great people. I want to congratulate Pete Hegseth for having gone through the gauntlet. He went through a lot, but he got through, and he's going to be a tremendous, I have no doubt he's going to be a tremendous leader. And other of the leaders sitting here, they're in their own fields. We're going to do something very, very, very great, and we expect great things. But I expect the strongest military by far in the world, far stronger than China, far stronger than anybody, and that's the way it is. Thank you very much. Would you like to ask a question, please? Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
This is Hiramoto from Nippon Television. My question, let me ask two quick questions.
Sure.
First, this is the first meeting between Mr. President and Prime Minister Ishiba. So what kind of impression do you have on him? And number two, do you have an idea or do you have a plan to impose tariff against Japan so far? Thank you.
I think that he is going to be a great prime minister. I think he's a very strong man, very, very strong. I have great respect for him. I've known him for a long time through a reputation. Shinzo Abe thought the world of him, and I think he's going to do a fantastic job as prime minister. A very strong person. I wish he wasn't so strong. I wish he was a little bit weaker than that, but that's what I got. I have to get strong guys all the time. He's going to be a great prime minister. I also, in terms of tariffs, I mean, we're going to have tariffs, mostly reciprocal tariffs, where we go with, and I'm going to be probably meeting on that Monday or Tuesday, have an announcement, probably a news conference, but probably reciprocal tariffs where a country pays so much or charges us so much, and we do the same. So very reciprocal, because I think that's the only fair way to do it. That way, nobody's hurt. They charge us, we charge them. It's the same thing. And I seem to be going in that line as opposed to a flat fee tariff. Okay. Yes, go, please. Please, go ahead. Why don't you go ahead?
This is Ota from Yomiuri Shimbun newspaper. I have a question for Prime Minister Ishiba. So this is your very first summit meeting. What was your impression of President Trump? Were you able to build a good relationship of trust and confidence? In Northeast Asia, there are many challenges, China, North Korea, and so forth. And with President Trump, what did you appeal to him, and what kind of understanding were you able to obtain? On the economic field, there is the acquisition of U.S. Steel, the buy Nippon Steel, and there are expansion of import of LNG. What were the communication discussion did you have with President Trump for the $1 trillion of investment from Japan to investment? What was his reaction? What about your communication on tariff front? This is the first time that I met with President Trump in person. So this was the first time meeting face to face. But for many, many years, I have watched him on television. So it was quite I was so excited to see such a celebrity on television, to see in person. On television, he is frightening, and he has the very strong personality. But when I met with him, actually, he was very sincere and very powerful and with strong will for the United States as for the whole world. I was able to feel that. This is not the sort of polishing or trying to suck up to him. For the world peace and for the regional stability that both of our countries need to play our role and make our endeavors and responsibility. As for the increase of our defense expenditures, it is not that we are told by the United States to do so. Japan, on our own decision and on our own responsibility, we need to increase our defense expenditures. But of course, we need to communicate and consult with the United States. But the responsibility is with Japan, and the decision is with Japan. Now, on the tariffs, that if it is mutually beneficial, tariffs need to be set. And as for Japan, as Mr. President has introduced to us, an unprecedented investment will be made from Japan to the United States, and so many jobs will be created. So $1 trillion is the target. And this will be to the benefit of the United States, but also to the benefit of Japan as well. Investment is mutually beneficial. So be it with U.S. Steel, as Mr. President says, it is not acquisition, it is investment. So the Japanese technology will be provided, and the better quality products will be manufactured in the United States, and the U.S. Steel will make products which will contribute not only to the United States and Japan, but also to the whole world. It is not one-sided. It will be reciprocal. It will be mutually beneficial. And I believe we were able to share on this. And that is the biggest result that I have seen today.
Thank you very much. Go ahead, please. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about that U.S. Steel deal. So you're saying that is this a restructuring of the deal that's happening, and then will you approve?
They're doing it as an investment, no longer a purchase.
Okay.
I didn't want it purchased, but investment I love. And they're going to do a big investment, subject to getting the deal done.
And that's
they'll be
something
doing
you
a
would
big.
approve. Where the US,
I'm okay with that, sure.
And for the Prime Minister, what was your argument to the President related to U.S. Steel? And one more on tariffs, Mr. President, if I could. You said on tariffs that you'd like them to be reciprocal back and forth. What was the reception from the Japanese Prime Minister when you said that, or when you talked
Well,
about
we
it?
didn't discuss tariffs too much. We really discussed many other things, including the pipeline in Alaska, which I think is going to be maybe the most exciting thing with Doug, Chris. We discussed that at length, the pipeline. I mean, it seemed to be of great interest to them. It's we have potentially more oil and gas than in Saudi Arabia, just in Alaska. We have the most of any country in the world. It's a big asset for the United States, but we haven't used it. We go to Venezuela, we go to other places to take oil and gas, and we have more than anybody. It's an amazing phenomenon that took place over the last 4 years. Nobody understands it, including the people that were in charge of it. They had no clue what they were doing. So it was a big problem. They were surprised actually too. They were saying, why Why didn't they? They wouldn't sell them LNG. They wouldn't sell it. Japan wanted to buy LNG, and Biden wouldn't sell it. And I'm trying to figure that one out. Maybe it was the environment. You might answer that question. He's curious about that himself, I think. Thank you very much. If you want to answer that, you may, about LNG, that the United States wouldn't sell you LNG.
That was a really unfortunate thing, but the current administration, I'm sorry, the previous administration was not allowing the LNG to be exported to us. I believe that President Trump, on the day of his inauguration, allowed us to resume this importing. I think this is something that is really wonderful for us. And as the country of Japan, we are interested in importing not just LNG, but also bioethanol, ammonia, and other resources at a stable price, a reasonable price from the United States. And we also want to improve the trade deficit that the U.S. has towards Japan. So if we are able to buy those at a stable and reasonable price, I think it would be a wonderful situation. And for that, I am very appreciative to President Trump. And we also look forward to LNG and hope that it's a success.
I want to just say that on the ethanol, Iowa is going to be very happy. All of the Nebraska, all of our farm states are going to be very happy. They want ethanol, and we'll be able to provide it. So our farmers, who I like and they like me, I think they're going to be very, very happy. We've opened the sale of LNG immediately. Actually, we did it a few days ago. And China, right now, not only China, everybody wants to buy it. We have more than anybody, and they're all buying it. But Japan, in particular, we're very happy that they're going to start immediately, and we can supply it to the world. But we're supplying it to Japan, and they can always be right up in the front of the line. Yeah, go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Mr. Prime Minister, I have a question for you as well, but Mr. President, I'll start with you. Well, quickly to follow up on what Peter was asking, have you directed Elon Musk to review Pentagon spending, given it's the biggest discretionary spending
Yes,
in
I
the
have
federal
Pentagon,
budget?
education, just about everything. We're going to go through everything, just as it was so bad with what we just went through with this horrible situation we just went through. And I guess 97% of the people have been dismissed. It was very, very unfortunate. You're not going to find anything like that, but you're going to find a lot. And I've instructed him to go check out education, to check out the Pentagon, which is the military. And, sadly, you'll find some things that are pretty bad, but I don't think proportionally you're going to see anything like we just saw.
FBI has turned over a list to the Justice Department of the FBI agents who worked on the January 6 rioters cases. Are you planning to fire the FBI agents who worked on those investigations?
No, but I'll fire some of them because some of them were corrupt. I have no doubt about that. I got to know a lot about that business, that world. I got to know a lot about that world, and we had some corrupt agents, and those people are gone, or they will be gone, and it'll be done quickly and very surgically. Did you have a question for the Prime Minister? Talk up.
Are those the ones who worked on the January 6th?
I don't know. I know we have some that are very corrupt and we don't like it. We're going to bring back the reputation of the FBI. Kash Patel is going to do a great job, and we're going to bring back the reputation of the FBI, which has been hurt very badly. It's been devastated over the last 4 years.
You have just been meeting for the first time with President Trump. The last administration
Amazing
famously
answers.
did not have hardly any, if at all, contact with North Korea. President Trump certainly did the last time he was in office. Would you like to see him resume that contact and also that in-person meeting that he had with the North Korean leader, Kim Jong-un?
That is something that the United States needs to determine on its own, and it's not something that we should request. Having said that, but for example, in Vietnam or Singapore, the President of the United States President Trump was able to meet with Kim Jong Un. I think that's a very positive development. So now that President Trump is in power again, if we are able to move towards resolving issues with the North Korea, I think it would be a great. And of course, for us, that includes not only denuclearization, but also resolving the abductee issue. And so not only the victims of the abductees, but also their families too are aging. And so our time is limited. So if the President of the United States, if President Trump is able to resolve this issue, we do understand that it's a Japan issue first and foremost. Having said that, we would love to continue to cooperate with them.
It's actually a good question, and we will have relations with North Korea and with Kim Jong-un. I got along with him very well, as you know. I think I stopped the war. I think if I wouldn't have won that particular election, you would have ended up in a very bad situation. But I did, and we had a good relationship, and I think it's a very big asset for everybody that I do get along with him. I get along with him, he gets along with me, and that's a good thing, not a bad thing. And I can tell you that Japan likes the idea because their relationship is not very good with him. And if I can have a relationship with not only him, but other people throughout the world where there seem to be difficulties, I think that's a tremendous asset for the world, not just the United States. Go ahead. Garrett.
I have a question for you and for the Prime Minister as well. Mr. President, I wonder what you make of the criticism from Democrats that these staff reductions, the cuts that Elon Musk and Doge are doing are an unlawful power grab. Is there anything you've told Elon Musk he cannot touch?
Well, we haven't discussed that much. I'll tell him to go here, go there. He does it. He's got a very capable group of people. Very capable. They know what they're doing. They'll ask questions and they'll see immediately as somebody gets tongue-tied that they're either crooked or don't know what they're doing. We have very smart people going in. So I've instructed him go into education, go into military, go into other things as we go along. And they're finding massive amounts of fraud, abuse, waste, all of these things. So, but I will pick out a target and I say go in. There could be areas that we won't, but I think everything's fertile. You know, we're a government. We have to be open. And as an open government, I don't know, I guess you could say maybe some high intelligence or something. And I'll do that myself if I have to. But generally speaking, I'll just say go. But he will be looking at education pretty quickly, and he will be looking at military too.
You know, the bulk of federal spending is Social Security, Medicare, programs like that. Would you like to see him look at those programs as well?
Well, they don't really have to be looked at by him. They can be looked at by us. Social Security will not be touched. It'll only be strengthened. We have illegal immigrants on Social Security, and we're going to find out who they are and take them out. We have illegal immigrants in other Medicare. We've found a lot of bad people, a lot of people that shouldn't be on, that were put on through California. A lot of them come out of California. We're not going to stand for that. So we're going to strengthen our Social Security, et cetera. We're not going to touch it other than to make it stronger. But we have people that shouldn't be on, and those people we have to weed out. Most of them, or many of them so far, have been illegal immigrants. They shouldn't even be in the country. Do you have a question for the Prime Minister?
I do. Mr. Prime Minister, the president's affinity for tariffs is well known. If the U.S. places tariffs on Japanese imports, would Japan retaliate?
I am unable to respond to a theoretical question. That's the official answer that we have.
That's a very good answer. Very good answer. Wow. That's very good. He knows what he's doing. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.
Here we go. Donald Trump. There's Carolyn Levitt right there, and the team, and blonde supremacy. Make America Blonde Again, right? Is that what it was like? Donald Trump absolutely cooking CNN. We knew That was where he was going to go. We pointed her out. This is the new Jim Acosta. Mr. President. Oh, man. An exciting moment, ladies and gentlemen. We'll play you a quick recap of what we liked there. President Trump absolutely forcing CNN to eat it. Very special. And also, ladies and gentlemen, now we know exactly what it looks like when JD Vance is taking your number. Killer Klein, can you please put this very sharp, eagle-eyed snag from the great, amazing Ashley on our team. Ashley is a producer, a content creator, spectacular, somebody who's sharp as a tack. And she caught this. This is how you know your journalism career is over. When JD Vance looks at you like this. That's how you know. That's how you know. You done it. You done. This is the JD Vance glance. The Vance glance, ladies and gentlemen. So we have the best clip, which is the back and forth with CNN. A lot of questions about Elon Musk. The majority of questions to President Trump were about Elon Musk. Now, really quick top line stuff here. Donald Trump announcing that the takeover of U.S. Steel, which is Andrew Carnegie, like epic old company that was sort of the turn of the century production of American might, grit, and energy. Legendary company. U.S. Steel used to run the world. Now was sold for pennies to Japan as a sign of American decline. Joe Biden, of course, allowed that to happen. Joe Biden doesn't give a damn. Joe Biden wants all of America's treasure to be sold off, unless it's oil, of course, since Donald Trump covered there. Donald Trump has just changed that, and now it will be simply an investment in an American company, which, of course, everyone should welcome. Japanese investment in American companies that are still owned by America. So it's an incredible return, ladies and gentlemen, to a time gone by where, well, we still had national pride. And U.S. Steel wouldn't be owned by a foreign nation, even if it is a friendly nation like Japan. These two leaders never met each other, but boy, they got along like old sailor buddies, right? Isn't that amazing? Like the two of them, like complimenting each other, talking about how they're going to work together to free hostages and impose tariffs and create peace and denuclearize, do big deals like this. It was the U.S. Steel deal that is getting the most headlines, because obviously that's a major turn, but also Japan buying American energy and LNG. At the same time, there's breaking news out of Canada right now, Justin Trudeau saying that Donald Trump is very serious about making Canada the 51st state. The reason why is natural gas, minerals, raw materials that Canada, of course, doesn't have the balls or the capacity to go get themselves. And Donald Trump saying, no, we're going to do that. Justin Trudeau just did an interview where he was asked by a reporter who was snickering about the joke of Trump making it the 51st state. And he said, like, dead on, no, you don't understand. Donald Trump really wants to do this. He wants us to be the 51st state, and he wants the minerals. So this is sort of dovetailing into President Trump talking about the great natural resources of this country, how we have the most natural gas in the entire world. We're going to use it. We're going to sell it to our allies. And if we can go grab Canada's, why not? Okay? Greenland, you're on the menu too, along with the Panama Canal, and so on and so forth. Colombia, didn't they piss us off the other day? Yeah, okay, maybe Colombia can come get it. So, ladies and gentlemen, that was sort of the takeaway from President Trump. Japan, as a final top line, will be investing $1 trillion. Did I get that right? Executive producer ALX? $1 trillion in America. Hot damn. Well, we've already had tens of billions invested from Korean banks. Now Japan saying that we are getting the single largest commitment of an investment for any economy in the entire world. This is President Trump's first meeting with this dude. It's just great from President Trump. It's just great. It's just Trump's just in his element. He's vibing. He's looking fresh. Like, here we go. This is Trump's just looking like refreshed. It's like doesn't look like a man who's been on an absolute freaking bulldozer, a flaming giant bulldozer through the federal bureaucracy. Do you realize how tough what President Trump is doing right now? Absolutely destroying all of the power and all of the weapons of his enemy. He's like a man on a mission. So, ladies and gentlemen, Donald Trump, who obviously, as we were talking about before the show, would regularly get a thorn in his paw, as it were, right? When the corporate media would ask him jackass questions and try and like get under his skin, as it were. Here's Kate Land Collins in what is the most newsworthy interaction, obsessively screeching about Doge and Elon Musk, Donald Trump, just shadowboxing, you know, just shadowboxing. So easy. Remember when CNN used to really get under her skin? Now it's like, please, this is child's play. Let's go.
Minister, I have a question for you as well, but Mr. President, I'll start with you. Well, quickly to follow up on what Peter was asking, have you directed Elon Musk to review Pentagon spending, given it's the biggest discretionary spending
Yes,
in
I
the
have
federal
Pentagon,
budget?
education, just everything. We're going to go through everything, just as it was so bad with what we just went through with this horrible situation we just went through. And I guess 97% of the people have been dismissed. It was very, very unfortunate. You're not going to find anything like that, but.
Oh, no. Hold on. Oh, we apologize, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes this happens, especially when it's breaking news. This is that was a broken clip. That was a broken clip. So we're going, our production team is going to rapidly effort to get that clip back up and played in full, because the interaction there is great. We got our producers online, and they will be actively ripping as quickly as possible. Got this? Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, as we grab that clip, it does tend to happen. It's called a broken clip. Sometimes there's, when we're pulling these things, there's a glitch. It is what it is. We appreciate your patience, as of course we do the show live, and we're always actually literally live. So the producers are fixing the clip. Ladies and gentlemen, here's Donald Trump's interaction with Peter Doocy of Fox News. Here we go. Is that the full interaction of Peter Doocy? All right. Well, here's CNN. I think we'll do let's do CNN again. We apologize, ladies and gentlemen. It does tend to happen. Again, we are live. And you know what? That's just the way it works sometimes, right? We just roll, go with the flow, okay? That's why we love you so very much. You obviously have our back here. So we have the clip, once again, non-broken clip. Here's the interaction with CNN. Let's rock and roll.
Sir, I have a question for you as well, but Mr. President, I'll start with you. Well, quickly to follow up on what Peter was asking, have you directed Elon Musk to review Pentagon spending, given it's the biggest discretionary spending
Yes, I
in the
have
federal
Pentagon,
budget?
education, just everything. We're going to go through everything, just as it was so bad with what we just went through with this horrible situation we just went through. And I guess 97% of the people have been dismissed. It was very, very unfortunate. You're not going to find anything like that, but you're going to find a lot. And I've instructed him to go check out education, to check out the Pentagon, which is the military. And, sadly, you'll find some things that are pretty bad. But I don't think proportionally you're going to see anything like we just saw.
FBI has turned over a list to the Justice Department of the FBI agents who worked on the January 6 rioters cases. Are you planning to fire the FBI agents who worked on those investigations?
No, but I'll fire some of them because some of them were corrupt. I have no doubt about that. I got to know a lot about that business, that world. I got to know a lot about that world, and we had some corrupt agents, and those people are gone, or they will be gone, and it'll be done quickly and very surgically. Did you have a question for the Prime Minister? Talk up.
Are those the ones who worked on the January 6th?
I don't know. I know we have some that are very corrupt and we don't like it. We're going to bring back the reputation of the FBI. Kash Patel is going to do a great job. And we're going to bring back the reputation of the FBI, which has been hurt very badly. It's been devastated over the last 4 years.
You have just been meeting for the first time with President Trump.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to be seeing more firings, Donald Trump says. These people are savages, they are animals, and they attacked him and his family. As we have said on the show time and time again, you effed with his wife. Do you not know? You effed with Melania. Don't you understand? Haven't you seen what Melania wore? Get me what Melania wore on the inauguration. Come on. I mean, it's like so obvious. She was telling you. She was telling you from the start, ladies and gentlemen, what was about to happen. You do understand that when these degenerate pagan perverts went and raided Melania's closet, and when she wore this outfit, having to stand next to the probably the largest perverts to ever occupy the Oval Office there, Joe Biden and Jill Biden, that she was sending a message. Look at her expression. Look at her expression. Let's make it bigger, please. Look at her expression. Yeah. No, you effed with Melania. So you effed around, and now the finding out is happening, and it's going to happen really fast, and you're not going to like it. It's not going to be fun for you. Like, do you understand that going and ordering, as Joe Biden did, so Joe Biden's in this photo, it's a perfect photo, Joe Biden's in this photo. Joe Biden orders the raid on Melania's closet because he's a pervert, right? Because he's a sicko, and he's a pagan, and he wants his wife to look like Melania. The reality is, but, you know, it's like you can't dress up, you know, it's like you can bedazzle a trash bag, it's still going to be a trash bag. The decision to raid Melania's closet and to do whatever sick, perverted thing they did in there, that will ultimately end the deep state. That decision created the revenge arc we are currently living through. Melania told us, look at her! Look at her! She told you what she was going to do! She told you. Ashley, get me one more savage Melania. Come on, Ashley. Quick, get me one more savage Melania. Let's get you one more. Ladies and gentlemen, Peter Doocy with some very good questions here. Peter Doocy is our other reporter. So we have the CNN reporter and then the reporter at Fox News. Doocy asking some questions that made Donald Trump crack up and the entire room roll with laughter. Here we go. This is Peter Doocy's questioning of Donald Trump. Very different from what we used to get with Joe Biden. Ladies and gentlemen, Peter Doocy, locked and loaded. Here we go.
So Democratic lawmakers are really upset that DOJ engineers have access to these Treasury payment systems. The Senate Intel Challenge wrote a letter to Susan Wiles. They're saying that these systems are used to disperse trillions of dollars each year and contain everyday Americans' personal information like social security numbers, home addresses, bank accounts. Why does DOJ need all of that?
Well, it doesn't, but they get it very easily. I mean, we don't have very good security in our country, and they get it very easily. And what we're doing, if you look at what has just taken place with respect to some of the investments that have been made on another agency that people have been talking about for years, but nobody did anything about it, it's absolutely obscene, dangerous, bad, very costly. I mean, virtually every investment made is a con job. There's nothing of value to anybody unless there's a kickback scheme going on, which is possible. And we're going to be doing more and more of that. We're going to be looking at Department of Education. We're going to be looking at even our military. We're going to be looking at tremendous amounts of money, Peter, being spent on things that bear no relationship to anything and have no value. We're talking about trillions of dollars. It will be, in the end, trillions of dollars being absolutely wasted and perhaps illegally. I would say certainly in many cases illegally, but perhaps illegally overall. And I'm very proud of the job that this group of young people, generally young people, but very smart people, they're doing. They're doing it at my insistence. It would be a lot easier not to do it. But we have to take some of these things apart to find the corruption. We found tremendous corruption.
You mentioned the Department of Education. What do you think when you saw Democratic lawmakers?
I just want to pause here for just 1 second and say Donald Trump is now, for the first time, saying that what they're finding is criminal. You've seen Trump for 10 years. Does he say stuff like that without really meaning it? Is this a man who like lies to, is this a man who like is just joking around? Is this dude who's just messing around now? He's pulling your chain? Does he say stuff like that unless he actually really legitimately has rock solid evidence that he knows and he's starting to leak it out there? Trump said right there, we have found criminal behavior inside of our federal government payment systems. Elon Musk is disclosing all of it. So very important point. We'll let the
Bankers trying to get into the Department of Education earlier today.
Oh, I see the same ones. I see Maxine Waters, a lowlife. I see, all these people. They don't love our country. They don't love our country. We want great education. So they rank 40 countries in education. We're ranked dead last. But the good news is we're number one in one category. You know what that is? Cost per pupil. We spend more per pupil than any other country in the world. You look at Norway, Denmark, Sweden, various countries all up and down, Finland, China does very well in education. And then you look at us. We spend much more money than they do per pupil or any other way. But we spend much more money than they do, and yet we're ranked this year, Biden's last year, congratulations, Joe, we're ranked dead last.
Perfect.
So what I want to see is education. Number one, I like choice. We all like choice. But beyond choice, long beyond choice, I want to see it go back to the states where great states that do so well have no debt. They're operated brilliantly. They'll be as good as Norway or Denmark or Sweden or any of the other highly ranked countries. They'll be, probably have 35 to 38 states will be right at the top. And the rest will come along. They'll have to come along competitively. And by the way, we'll be spending a lot less money. And we'll have great education.
As part of this Doge cost-cutting effort, one of the Doge engineers was fired for some inappropriate posts. The vice president says, bring him back. What do you say?
I don't know about the particular thing, but if the vice president said that, did you say that? I'm with the vice president.
Oh, man. This is great. The Vance glance, baby. Let's pop it up in conclusion here. There are two hats that are being worn by this administration. Ladies and gentlemen, they both have special significance. Hat number one, and I do love the Vance glance, but he's not wearing a hat here. Hat number one is the revenge hat of Melania. Melania Trump wasn't effing around. You done F with the billionaire's wife. You know, she's got her own plane, don't you? You know, she's got golden skyscrapers with her last name emblazoned on the front of it, don't you? You know, she's married to the President of the United States, right? Don't F with this lady. The FBI agents that approved the raid of her closet, they're done. Their careers are over, and they'll be lucky if they make it out without going to Guantanamo Bay. Melania has been telling you this. Two hats that are being worn in this administration. That's hat number one. Here's hat number two. This is the second hat, which are the people who are carrying out the revenge, the joyful and happy man's work, like any good revenge flick, man's work of having the time of your life and dancing on the pain and excruciating suffering of your enemies. And that's what's happening here in this photo with Elon and Tucker wearing these giant furry hats inside of the Oval Office. Isn't it perfect? Yeah, it is perfect, isn't it? Yeah, that's right. Well, final breaking news from our great executive producer, ALX, who you must follow, is Dan Scavino, the voice of the president. If I may, Klein, can you see the account, please? Let's pop that up. As we covered in the morning show, CNN, and at the top of this show, CNN went on a screaming rampage because one of the Doge engineers and analysts, these are all like little AI obsessed, like teenagers actually, this is like 22-year-old AI geniuses that Elon's brought in. They're all, one of them went by the name Big Balls. And now the voice of the president, Dan Scavino, who is the digital voice of the president, has posted this. Ladies and gentlemen, it's like a photo. An AI photo of Trump and Elon holding big balls. Big orange balls. Oh, no. Ah, yes. And Elon Musk saying, to err is human, to forgive is divine. He will be brought back. Oh, boy. Elon Musk saying that that the individuals who were shamed by the corporate media into resigning, they ran some type of like hack job on these guys. Now they forced these one of the members of the Doge team to resign. Elon Musk breaking news right now saying he will come back. We will not play by your games anymore. We will not allow the terrorists to win. We won't negotiate with terrorists, actually, right? Does the left do what we want them to do because we tweeted at them? Please. No. Power, strength, and unwavering resolve with a muscular determination, set steely-eyed glazed on what you must do to protect your country. That is all that the left respects. Sheer, unadulterated, brutal power. And this is a power position here. So Elon Musk now bringing back the boys who made naughty jokes, right, as all teenage boys do. Breaking news here, ladies and gentlemen, along with the President of the United States spokesperson posting a photo of big orange balls. How you like them apples, CNN? That's right. I can't wait for the CNN segments on this. Oh, it's so good. Okay, here we go. The department, it just keeps rolling in. The Department of Government Efficiency, the official Doge X handle, posting unburdened by what has been, with the photo of U.S. AID offices officially closed in Washington, D.C., officially papered up and having their names chiseled off the side of the building. Oh my goodness. What an unbelievable moment we're living in. This went viral because there were staffers who were papering over the sign on the street, but I didn't know they went as far as to actually chisel the letters off the building. Amazing. Incredible. You can see it here, and we have a special meme for you. You know we love you. We have a special meme for you. Nothing but hearts to you, to the chat. A special meme of what really happened. We have the technology to actually show us what truly happened to President Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania, when Donald Trump turned his head at the exact right millimeter and second. It was a special visit from his friend, Shinzo Abe, who lost his life in a political assassination. We don't talk about it enough. Who lost his life in a horrible left-wing political assassination in Japan. Donald Trump was obviously very close, personal friends with Shinzo Abe. And I can't think of a single better way to sign off today than with this meme. You're going to love this. It gives you, it'll make you emotional. What really happened in Butler, and thank you for watching. You're going to love this meme. Please subscribe to our channel, subscribe to our team, and a massive shout out to Jack, our newest, youngest producer who just passed 100,000 on X. I was meaning to do this, Killer Klein, so I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. We'll pay you the meme in just a second. Show me Jack's account. I want to see young Jack, the only Jack I would ever tell you to actually follow on X. Now, ladies and gentlemen, go follow our youngest producer, Jack. He just roared past 100,000 subs on X, shooting like a rocket ship. He's an incredible producer on our team, our newest producer, and go give him a follow. You can find him at Jack Unheard here, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure that we give strength and power and energy to those people who are fighting alongside of us to make this great country great again and to keep it great. Now, here's your meme that will pull at your heartstrings. Here you go.
A little bit old, that short's a couple
Donald.
If you want to really see some...
Donald, you must move your head.
Shinzo, you died, and I never got the chance to say goodbye.
Donald, I don't say goodbye. You need to remember your training. Move your head. I cannot explain. I must go.
Wait, Shinzo,
if I never see you again, and see you later, Space Cowboy.
What if you will see me again? Because there is one last thing that I must do.
Months old, and if you want to really see something that's sad, take
Thank you, Kim Jong. Oh, love the roads and the skies.
My God, I actually pity those poor bastards we're going up against. My God, I do. We're not going to just meme those globalists. We're going to meme them till they cry and use their tears to grease the treads of our tanks.
I wish I could do something, but I can't. I don't know what to do.
The biggest ships in the sea, all owned by the oldest kings, and their dying legacy, media deal reads. Soon will the Benny Show come to mind, assault from lives for fun. Leave the gold and bring the gun, we sail for #1. Show come to mind, assault from lives for fun. Leave the gold and bring the gun, we sail for #1. The biggest ships in the sea, all owned by the oldest king.